Hello and welcome to Poker for Muppets. It's me. It's Pluto Man, as always, except this time is probably going to be my last time. Well, I think it is going to be my last time. This is a series of 3 videos from some tournaments I played yesterday. I actually played 5 tournaments, but the first 3 didn't go so well, and these are the last 2. And yeah, I thought I'd better make videos of them because that's basically going to be it, unless for some reason, I don't know, GG Poker do something with mixed games or whatever. Then that's me done. I wasn't able to play very often anyway. Yesterday was a public holiday, so it gave me the opportunity to play, and then I decided I'd actually quite like to have the money that's in my account. So I've already cashed out. They don't give you all of my money back, which is a real bugger. This is obviously their exchange rates, and they take a 3% fee, and God knows, but still, the money that was in there after all of that was pretty handy for me. So, I'm not talking about mega bucks, but we're talking about something like maybe 60% of a car. I'm not going to buy a very expensive car. That's pretty obvious. Um, you know, that sort of thing. So maybe 80% of the money it cost me to fly to New Zealand and back, which I'm going to do in August, and well, fly there in August, come back in September. Anyway, this is enough about me. This is the end. This is the end. This is part 1 of the end, the beginning of the end. And this is Badugi. It's pot limit Badugi, $2.20 tournament. I have a jack in the cutoff, and haven't started well. I had about 3/4 of what I started with there. Um, And this guy has already demonstrated to me on an earlier hand that he doesn't know what he's doing. He showed down some kind of crap. So when he decides to raise, notice he drew 3 there. He called my raise and then he drew 3. So I'm happy to just, and he knows he might have figured the game out, but I'm happy to take that risk. He hasn't. He actually had an amazingly good 3-card hand there and decided to pat it. So he's obviously very confused about what's going on with this game. This time, very, very next hand, I have the nut 9, the best possible 9, the 71st best badugi. All these numbers, I'm going to have to forget them now. So 90% of all badugis are worse than this, because there were 715 of them altogether. So decide to raise. What does Ludwig do in the big blind? He draws 1. Rapunzel. How many does he draw? Doesn't draw any at all, so that's just crazy stuff. Is he slow playing? So, and then you've got Ludwig coming out and donking. So I'm like, what do I do here? Do I just stack off, or do I can't fold. I don't feel I can fold to that donk bet. Maybe I could, but I feel really tight, especially as you've got somebody else in there who might not know what he's doing, might not have a very good hand, etc., etc. Maybe he's slow playing something too. So when they both checked me, I decided to just get all my chips in, or gonna have to call. It looks like I've run into a trap here, but there was too much money in the pot. To be honest, that probably would have been the outcome anyway, even if he hadn't played it like that. Don't think I could have got away from that. I think I just had a little bit too much hand, so it was a bit unfortunate. It was an interesting way he played. The other guy should have got away. A 10-8 or whatever that's nowhere near good enough. When he knows that 2 other people have pat, he's got to get away there. He didn't though. So I've hit a 2-card draw. I've hit a king, and I just call because I think he might actually pat sometimes. So in which case I will draw 1. I have to take but he's not pat. So I decide to um, and he doesn't know that I might not have a very strong pat hand. So I decide to just and hope neither of them's actually hit a pat hand. Otherwise I'm gone. That's my badugi done for. But no, it doesn't look like either of them have hit. Incognito. What does he do? What does he do? What does he do? What does he do? He folds, and I do get some chips back after that thing with Ludwig, where I'd lost a load of chips, most of my stack. So I'm surviving now. I've got 5-2-1. And he 3 bets me. I think he's going to be pat a lot of the time, but if he is, I've got such a good draw, I'm going to get the odds to try and chase. So let's see. Is he pat? Is he pat? I expect him to be like 70% of the time. Maybe he's not. 70, 80% maybe. He's not though. So there's a chance I'll have the best hand here. Maybe not. He might have one of the better, there are like four better draws than that. But no, he doesn't. So I actually have the best hand, even though I don't improve. We both missed, and I had the better hand, so I'm back I'm alive in this tournament again. Unfortunately, it's only a 220. I wish it was like $11 or something. They had an $11 pot limit badugi tournament running every day, but they don't. And for those sorts of reasons, I'm decided to give up. So I decided I get what did I have there? Can I just go back? What was that hand? What was that hand? Wasn't I was so I had 7-2-1 and I raised and he three bets and I decided to get out of the way there that time. I think he's probably going to be pat a lot of the time. Now what happens here? Almost the same hand, 7-3-1 this time. This time there's somebody else calls and he decides to. So I'm getting a bit of a price. Getting 2-1 on a call here, more than that actually. 3-1 probably because there's. Oh well, it would have been 2-1, but he got out of the way. So he's. Ugh. Now this is a bit awkward for me now. I do cover him slightly, which helps a little bit. So his bounty, it's only a small bounty, but it is in play. Go back. So I missed the first draw, and when he bets, how much money is in the pot? Hang on. This is playing now. This is playing, right? So, so, so here's the first draw. Missed the first draw, and he's pat now. And he kind of inevitably here just shoves. And I immediately call because I'm getting odds of what am I getting? 2.5-1 or something. So I need to bid a bit over that actually. So I am. I had a look, and I don't know what he's got. If he's got a jack, then I'm going to win like 30% of the time or something. He's got a queen a bit better. He's got a 10 a bit less, but it's going to be something in that region. I am getting those odds. I did actually have the odds to call there, so most of the time I'm going to lose. Of course, you see, I do hit here, hit a 9, and majority of the time it's going to be good enough, but not necessarily. So I have the big reveal coming up here. What does Ludwig? Obviously, I'm going to pat this. The fact that he had a small bounty, that also is in my favour here. It makes my call worthwhile. What does he have? He has a Jack 10 and I win, so I get his bounty too. So I was lucky there, but I did have the odds to make that call, so I did the right thing there, knowing that I'm going to be almost out of the tournament the majority of the time, so I was fortunate, clearly. Anyway, so this is a huge pot. Look how much money's in this pot. It's 23,000. And Yanni Baxi, who seems like a pretty good player, and you've got one guy there who had a big draw. If I go back again, keep having to go back. This guy had a big draw. This guy had a 9, and this guy had no idea. And he beats all of them. Isn't it great? The no idea people are an enormous source of profit. So I'm actually kind of cooking with gas now, which is good. Not quite the level of gas that you are on. You are, you know. So I decide, because we go three-way, I actually decide to draw. I'm out of position. I decide to draw 2 here, which is marginal. I mean, most of the time I probably would draw 1. I don't really fancy making a 9 here, three-way out of position, side to side. So we go 6-4-1, 2-2-1. I don't bet, even though I hit pretty well because the other guy drew fewer cards than me. I don't seem I should really be betting. Now, I don't know anything about this MGE star. I've never seen him before in my life. Assume he knows what he's doing, but he might not. And anyway, on the river here, I go and hit a 9. Decide to fire out a smallish bet. It's not a great hand. I don't. If someone raises me, then I'm just going to fold. So MGE stars calls, and the other guy folds. And I have the best hand, so I'm thinking, well, what does he have? And he called me. I thought, well, sometimes we're going to have the best hand. Might have had a big one card draw. Might have had worse badugi. Let's see. Where, what does he have? What does he have? Oh, he's got that, so he hasn't got a clue. Wow, he's got no clue about what he's doing. Well, that well, that changes things a bit. So it's really important to go back and look at what people have, because he clearly doesn't have a clue. Mark him as red. That's right. I don't have a clue. Not that this matters, because probably not going to be coming back. It's just the time is. I don't have the time, and it takes too much time when I have time. Other things I'd rather be doing with my life. Anyway, he calls here. I only have a two-card draw, but it's a pretty good two-card draw. He draws one. What does he do? And because the other guy doesn't have a clue, I decide I'm going to probably draw two again. I'm going to bet though, because I realise the other guy probably doesn't have the foggiest card. I want to get his stack here. That's what I'm trying to do. And that didn't work, and he just folded. Maybe I should have bet smaller than that. Maybe. So anyway, draw two again here. This time I just get a free look. Maybe I should have actually bumped up the pot a little bit to begin with. Should have done maybe, if he doesn't have a clue. So go 2-1. I decide to call here. So he fires out a bet. And he's pat. Okay, but I'm not going to fold because this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So I just put him all in here for the remaining 160. Draw two again. I completely miss. I've still only got the two card. Look at what he got. He had King, Queen, Ace for a three-card hand. So he actually accidentally beats me. He beat me even though he didn't know what he was doing, just because I kept completely missing. So that was quite something. That was almost phew, yeah, big sigh after that. Crikey. Anyway, I have a pat nine here. It's a very strong hand, but it's far from unbeatable. If anyone raises, I see he's raised, he's passed it, and I just max this out. I don't even hesitate. It's not a world beater, so I want the other guys out actually. I realise that most of the time I'm going to have the best hand here, but not always. Sometimes I'm going to run into a better hand, so be it. Maybe I should, maybe I could have kept one of the other, tried to keep one of the other guys in. Anyway, so okay, put all my chips in. He keeps. He just am I going to have the best hand here? Yes. He had a 10. I wasn't sure about that one. I thought maybe close to half the time he might actually have me beaten there, but maybe not. Maybe 40% of the time or something. Maybe a little bit less. I don't know. So now it's going to confuse things a little bit because I'm now playing five-card draw as well. I've still got them set, so they both take up the whole screen. I'm going to change that in a few minutes. So I have jacks here in the cutoff, and I go and make, yeah, three jacks. So I just min raise. I wonder if I could have gone a little bit bigger, but he calls. So what did he call me with? Well, ace is up, so yeah, maybe I could have gone a little bit bigger there. Now I'm on the cutoff, and I decide to raise. I often won't raise this hand on the cutoff, but I do this time. You can break it to draw two if you have to as an emergency. Plus, I wanted to get him involved. That didn't work out. Um, so anyway, I decide to bet here. I can get away from this. I decide to bet relatively small, so I could get away if I needed to. Right at the bottom of my range of a pat hand, obviously. Here we go. Queen's on the it's all coming thick and fast now. Queen's on the button. This hand's gone five way, which is crazy stuff. Family pot here. Here we go. Nearly 16,000. Just let that one go. So in the end, that Magajda guy got out of the way. Guy, if he's a guy, and now I don't hit. I've actually got full hearts. That's no good to me, and I just fold. After the draw, to a small bet after the draw. And look what he had! He had nines full of jacks. Would you believe it? Okay, got a pair of aces. Um, Ooh, what do I do here? I call. I don't know whether that's the right thing to do because I shouldn't really be beating a whole lot from under the gun there. He'd have kings. He should have kings, maybe queens. Now I've got a big draw under the gun. Only six-handed on this table. 17 players left. And here we go. Decide to bet 2-2-2 with my aces up. I think they just fold. Okay, so I've still got my big one card draw. If he's hit, he's gonna check raise me here. Notice that the bubbles are appearing. That means right now there are only two players left before we get to the money. So um, one draw left. I decide to bet again. Oh, now I've hit. Of course, I have to bet again. If he got all his money in here, I'd call him and expect to lose a lot of the time, but I'd still have to call. It's not what happened. He just folds. I now have nearly 18,000, so I am doing pretty well. Um, but not as well as this guy here. There's always somebody with a shit ton of chips. It's when you think you're doing all right. So it's somebody more chips than you can imagine. So I decided to draw two there. Got 8, 8, 4, 1. No, I don't bet. Fairly often it'll hit an okay one card draw. Now I have to bet. I'm going to be betting here even if I miss. So I've got a reasonable hand on the other table. I just got just a pair of jacks. I don't decide to put any extra money in. And I'm just going to check this one down. Oh, but now bets on the river, pots on the river, and I've only got a king, so I'm at the bottom of my range for that situation. So I just let it go. Jacks. I decide to fold. Oh, jacks up. What happened? That's a big fold, isn't it? Do I see what actually happened there? I don't know if that was the correct fold or not. If I folded the best hand there, I can't remember. It was off my head. I don't think we're going to see it now. I think maybe I did fold the worst hand, didn't fold the best hand. Okay, on the button with 3-1. Oh, do I get what's going on now? Sensibly, I think I'm sensibly changing the table layout so that don't take up the whole screen and confuse everybody, including me. Right, here we go. 8-4-1, plenty good enough to raise from this position. Here we go. And where do we go? Is it 1-1, 2-1? How do we go? How does this one pan out? First draw, he's taking his time. It goes 1-1, I miss. He doesn't bet, I just check it back. Ace is in the cutoff here. And it's raining outside now. It's the 8th day in a row that it's rained. Great. A bit earlier than it has most of the time. Most of the time it's been kind of 5-ish that it's rained. It's now about 3:30. Anyway, he bet half the pot there and I got out of the way. My draw's wasn't good enough to continue. If I had a really good draw, I might have continued there. But 8-4-1's nowhere near good enough. Okay, so checks it back. I have the best hand. No, I didn't improve. So nothing here. Let's go back onto the badugi table. So you can see I'm playing 5-card draw. I don't think it's my best game, but it's all right. I quite like it actually. I think it's a nice little game. It's actually a bit deeper than people realise, because what a 1-card draw could mean, what a 2-card draw could mean. It can mean a bunch of stuff. In some ways, it's actually a more complex game than, say, no limit single draw. Although I still think that no limit single draw is a really good tournament game. And talking about that, I'd have a very nice draw in no limit single draw. Decide to draw. Well, I don't just draw any because I've got crap, and some of them decide to raise. So same story here. I actually do have a gut shot, but you don't want to be playing gut shots. You don't play many straight draws at all in 5-card draw, really. They're not that great. Not as good as people think they are. Because a straight, I mean, straight's a very, very strong hand, but it's not absolutely massive. And that's why straight draws, I think, are a little bit dangerous. Oh, and talking about, well, things that are absolutely massive, I have something that's absolutely massive here. I have 6s full of jacks. So I decide to 3-bet. I don't go very big, so you don't need to 3-bet very big in this game to get the desired outcome. And he just cold calls a 3-bet in the small blind, the Highlander guy. We go heads up, so the others just get out of the way. Draws 3, so there's no way he should be doing that. That's obviously complete madness. And I have played quite a bit of pot limit. Pot limit 5-card draw. This is not pot limit, this is no limits. He's perfectly able to just shove there. I call, expecting I'll lose occasionally. You do 3 and people make boats when they draw 3 sometimes, but no. He's got three aces. That makes no sense at all. If I have a pat, I'm going to be betting my pat hand. I'm not going to check it back. I'm always going to bet it because that way, if you have a pat bluff, that's how you sort of protect your pat bluffs by always betting your pat hands, no matter what. Like 6-5-4-3-2, got to bet it. So he doesn't know that, of course, but he's got a bluff catcher there. I mean, I think he probably should call a fair bit of the time after the draw with three aces, but he shouldn't have called my re-raise anyway. It's just crazy. Anyway, I don't profess to be very good at this game, but and then to just shove with three aces, it's like, oh, sorry, what? Would have made more sense to shove if he'd completely missed, actually. But I mean, how often am I going to fold a pat hand there? Sometimes. I mean, would I fold if I had just 6-5-4-3-2, 5-4-3-2 ace, the wheel? Could I have folded there? It'd have been hard. I mean, that would have been a hard one, actually. Don't know what I would have done there. Luckily, I had a much stronger pat hand than that, so I didn't have any problems. So this is really good now. I've doubled up there, basically. And that's great. Second place, you can see up the top right. It's like a little silver little icon thingy saying I'm in second place, which is very nice. Long, long, long way to go here. I've got a monster draw in the big blind, 16,000. 16 players left now in the immediate bubble. That's why we're going hand for hand. Just two tables. There's irony. And what is he going to do? What's the other guy going to do to call as well? So I go to that amount, a little over three times. Irony folds, but the other professor, what's his face, calls. And I'm going to have to bet this again. Happily bet it again. So I bet nearly half the pot. And this time he goes 1-1. I decide to just pot control a little bit and not bet on the turn. And now he checks on the river as well. And I decide to bet for just a small bet for value here. And he actually has a better hand. That's okay. Shame, but if you always have the best hand whenever you place any sort of value bet, well then you're not value betting enough. At least it was a small bet from me there. Almost telegraphed my hand a little bit there. But as long as you do that with your strong hand sometimes too, I think that's okay. Anyway, so I'd actually have the best hand quite often there, so not to be though. 6-3-1, just make the call. 2-2-1. Could have re-raised there, could easily have done it, but again, it's just a little bit of pot control thing going on there. Now I decide to bet half the pot. He calls, interesting. So go and hit this time. I'm going for 5 hours. That's all the tournaments I played before this. Decide to bet half the pot here too. Ugh, this is awkward now. Don't like this. What if he bets? Put so much of my stack in here. If he bets the river, very relieved when he doesn't bet the river. I take it down. I actually had the best 3-card hand anyway. So I think that actually deciding whether to pass or break there was really, really close. It was a really, really close decision. I think I could go either way there. The queen, yeah, I think patting it might have been slightly better, but which is what I did. But anyway, so deciding to draw 1 to my 1-card draw here. So, sorry, my trips, what am I saying? That doesn't make sense. It is a 1-card draw for me. Sometimes I'll draw 2. Most of the time I'll draw 1. Mix it up a little bit. We go 1-1. Oh no, we don't. We go 1-3. Ha. So I decide to bet. And he calls. Oh, what did he call me with? What did he call me with there? So I got it paid off, which was nice. So I'm actually sort of in this holding pattern of having around 8,000 chips for quite a while actually here. Let's let that one go. Let's see what he called me with. Huh. Kings here. Plenty good enough if it folds round to me. I just decide to make the call here. Let's see what Gula called me with. I don't know if I see. Nothing there. Just going to check it back unless he bets. Okay, check. I'll lose two aces, that's okay. Got a pair of queens, which is just about good enough to raise here. Goes for my 2.7. The middle position. Oh. I just want to draw one. So draw two rather than my usual three. I think I do. Just had to mix it up by keeping the king. I hit a second king, so I decide to bet half the pot. And he folds. Okay, so I was lucky to hit a second king there. So I've got a big draw here, 5-3-2. A real monster draw, to be honest. Decide to raise it up, which is exactly what I needed to do. What does Letty do here in the big blind? Gets out of the way, so I'm happy about this. Irony. Well, now he just does that. Wow. Okay. So we're still 1-1. I don't know what sort of draw he's got, but now I've gone and hit a 7. Got a really strong hand, and he didn't actually have that good a draw, you know. I take him out. Okay. Pair of aces with a lot of high side cards too. So I have to open it up as you need to from here. Ooh, and I decided to just fold, which is really, it's a little bit tight, isn't it? But remember that if you're behind before the draw in this game, you're very likely to stay behind after the draw. And the fact that I had all these side cards as well made me think he had two small pairs, probably. So I make a tight fold there. I had a lot of blockers to a worse pair, so I don't think that's what he had. I think he had, he could have had a real monster there too. Absolutely could have done. By min three betting, that was kind of, yeah, a little bit suspicious in some ways. So I've got horrible hand here on the badugi table. So I've actually got more chips now than this Yanni Baxi person. I'm just going to walk there, which is kind of nice when you've got something that bad. Now we're down to 9 players, and final table bubble now. So guaranteed a little bit of money. He's got a flush, 9 high flush. I don't see too many 9 high flushes. That's what he's got. Look, I've won 9 of 12 showdowns in the 5-card draw. So to open it up, and he folds. I've actually been getting a lot of folds actually in this in the small blind when I open the small blind. I've got 5-3-2 again here. I had that hand just a moment ago. So a very, very easy raise here. Call a 3-bet too if somebody does that. Hand's just too good. So the problem here is that Yanni actually could go really, really big. How many? 2, 1. So I'm going to be betting here no matter what. And I go and hit the second nuts. Might as well be the nuts. Second, if you're losing with this hand, this is just not your day, is it? So got the second nuts. And I don't know how big I want to go here. Go just over half the pot. And he just snap folds. Unfortunately, you can't make people call. People really don't have anything. It looks like I've got a message, and I wonder what that's about. Have a look in a moment. 731. Decided to just min raise. I don't know about that. Why did I just min raise? So, well, beef up the pot a little bit. Not much good use in this game. That 10 high hand. So we go 1-1, and I miss. I'm just going to check it back. I may bet the turn even if I miss here. Represent something. Let's see. Except I actually do hit a genuine hand here, but just under half the pot this time. He calls me, and what do I do on the end here? Bet 4,000. I could have just checked it back there, but I decided to bet. And you can see, so to bet there. See, I've had a good run. Just a fairly hasn't been plain sailing exactly, but it's been pretty good. So kings, I just take that one down. 8, 4, 1. What does he do? He calls. Now I got a 8-4-2 once. I've hit really well, hit my best possible card, and I have to hope he doesn't hit a monster here, because that would mean I could end up being crippled if he does that. Bet just over half. I've been betting sort of half pot a lot of the time today. He calls. Eesh. So now how much do I bet? Just over half the pot this time. I don't know if I can get away from this hand. It's a little bit too strong. And there's too much money in the pot now. If he just shoves, then I'm in a bit of a pickle, aren't I? Ugh. Anyway, that didn't happen. I've now got 40,000. It's going rather nicely. Third place out of 9. So I'm thinking, I'm targeting trying to win the tournament now, or get to the heads up stage, that sort of thing. This tournament's been going really well. I haven't had one like this for a long time, so I'm trying to make the most of it. Big hand here, aces up under the gun, six-handed table here, and which is kind of nice. Six-handed, although this Lai, whatever his name is okay, so I decide to bet here, even though I don't improve. What does Blitzer do? Calls me, and I have the best hands. I'm up to 9,000 now. Fourth place here, so I'm going along quite nicely. Kings, this time I do see what he had. He calls me with just a pair of queens, which is slightly bizarre. It's like he's just, I mean, he's obviously bluff catching there, isn't he? But I'd probably want to do that with something a little bit stronger. I don't think he should have been involved in the pot in the first place if that's all he had, really. So, pair of nines in the small blind, sort of mid-range kind of hands. I've got a pat jack here. Now we've made the final table. I've made the final table. And now look, I'm really, really tight here. I decide to fold just because, why do I decide to fold? I just don't really want to play a big pot with this hand multi-way. I could have re-raised. I probably should have done. I probably should have re-raised. I think that was a little bit of a mistake. Yeah, it's only when you look back and you see, yeah, I think it's not a big mistake to fold that hand, but because neither of them have necessarily shown much strength. I think I needed to. The guy was all in, didn't have any chips, and then Tenchi Tom just called, so I think I needed to re-raise there. So I'm going to hit a third ace. Isn't that lovely? And he bets half the pot. What do I do? Raise him. He calls. Oh, isn't that nice? 11,500. Just got a 2 here, nothing else. And the big blind. Final table. So I did actually, my last day of poker, final table something. Isn't that nice? And I go and hit well here too. Don't bet though, I don't think I do anyway. Nothing there. I'm not showing every hand. I'm showing hands where things happen. Which I'm sure is a relief for you watching this. Be here for, we can see that 5-hour thing came up. God, what a crazy day that was actually, playing all this poker. I hadn't had it played much for lately, and knowing that I wouldn't be playing again after that was, yeah. So this particular tournament's been going for roughly 2 hours and 40 minutes, this badugi, whereas the 5-card draw's been going for about 70 minutes, I think. So I've got kings up, got a strong hand here. Problem with your 2-pair hands is that you only have 4 outs to hit, so you're very unlikely to hit. Of course, when you do hit, you make an absolute monster, and I miss. And do I bet here? Bet kind of small. What does he decide to do? If he raises me, I might have to get away. But actually, I think this tournament I've been doing a much better job of betting after the draw than what I often do. But anyway, he just folds. It's cool here. So he's bet tiny. His Kalamata's bet really, really small. And drew 2 as well, so I have to call that. He's Pat. So I have to keep calling. That was, yeah. Sorry, even though because it's three-way, I don't think he's going to be bluffing there. Such a small bet. Does he get called? I don't think he does. I think he just takes it down. And my aces, I just take, yeah, he does. And my aces, I take that down too. And I've got jacks up, sort of medium strength two pair under the gun, with five-handed on this table. Um, Lines going up again. Don't hit. This time I just check it back though. Yeah, I think I could go either way there. Maybe I should have bet. All three sevens isn't that nice. Decide to draw one here, I think. I'm gonna have to re-raise this. Gonna really have to re-raise this. How big do I want to go? Oh, I go quite big. Ooh, for this game, that's actually quite a big raise, even when you've got two people in here. So, do I draw two here? Do I decide to draw two? I do. And my question is whether to actually bet this. I feel like I probably should have bet, you know. But no, I'd let him potentially bet. I decided to play it that way. I don't think he would have called a bet from me on the end there. Let's see what he had. Oh, he had two pair, you see. Don't think he might have called a bet for me there, you know. Ooh, difficult one. Yeah. Two card draw in the big blind. Free look here. 36,000. I improve significantly. Bet just over half the pot here. Kind of 60%. He immediately folds. Pair of queens in the small blind. Just complete with this. Don't hit, that's alright. Ooh. Just fold. He's got a boat. Jeebus. And I think that's all. That's all. That's that for my first part of the video. Hope you enjoyed that one. Kind of a little bit of a, two things going on at the same time, and I thought they're both kind of interesting though. So I'm going to be back with a part two and a part three. Please don't go away. Back, well, very soon. Bye.